Greetings, welcome back to Blackburn News, where everything is connected. I think we're connected. Hopefully you can hear me. We're live on Rockfin, Callin, and on YouTube. And good to see you all. All right. Sorry I was not here yesterday. Had some thing to do. Don't need to see that. All right. Well, let's just get into it. There's remnants of Fiona. There is a lot of cyclonic activity on the planet right now. And again, I guess we can just wonder why. Well, somebody actually left a comment saying that, everything is being controlled by Dr. Evil, I guess. That all of these things are fake and are being manipulated. Though I do think that there is geoengineering going on, or some geoengineering going on. You just can't generate that much energy. I mean, that amount of that is a phenomenal amount of energy. And why, again, why would you want to do this? The Occam's razor answer is that the Earth is warming, because when the Earth warms, this is what happens. Do I think that something can be controlled somewhere on some level? Sure. I'm not naive enough to think that nothing is going on. But it doesn't really it doesn't make sense to wreck the planet. If that starts to get into like just on what level does that actually sound like that makes sense? When you wreck the planet, it's hard to come back from that. It's hard to recover from that. It's hard to, So there's no evidence of that. And there's no hardcore evidence of that going on. So again, if you're going to believe something, that's fine. You're welcome to believe that. But I suggest that you believe in things that have, solid evidence behind it. Not just like somebody said this was happening, or maybe this is happening, or I think this might be happening, or, one point of data is not enough to like blow the whole thing wide open. It's just not enough. The way it works is data and evidence is cumulative, is what I'm trying to say. So when you have more data and evidence, mountains of data and evidence over here suggesting that this thing is going on, and you have a little bit of evidence over here, the one with more evidence is the one that's happening, or more likely happening. That's how it works. So until you have multiple points of data and evidence, and and it's always coming in, and it's always happening, and it's overwhelming. Until you have that, you don't really have anything. Then you have the weak position, or the untrue position, or the untenable position. Again, you're welcome to go ahead and believe that if you wish. That's probably not going to do you very well. All right, let's keep going. Anyways, the remnants of Fiona are heading to Greenland. After smashing eastern Canada, the remnants of Fiona are bringing a projected 4 inches of rain to the Greenland ice. It's from Jason Box. 100 millimeters of rain is forecast for the tip of southern Greenland ice sheet. Which, what does that mean? That means melting. That means melting at a time when actually the ice sheets should be on their upswing, right? They should be gaining ice now. We've already reached the minimum, the melt minimum, melt season minimum, what typically would be the lowest extent of ice. We've already reached that point. So more melting at a time when it's not supposed to be happening is not what anybody desires or wishes. We have Super Typhoon Noru. So I missed yesterday. I'm trying to catch up on some stories from yesterday. Super Typhoon Noru is currently making landfall on the Philippine island of Luzon. The wind speed at the epicenter of the cyclone, 241 kilometers per hour. Population of the island of Luzon, on which the capital of the country, Manila, is located, is 53 million people. And okay. Some footage from that. Typhoon Noru smashes into the Philippines, killing 5 and leaving villages in tatters. People in northern Philippines were bracing for landslides on Monday after 5 rescue workers were killed in the aftermath of Typhoon Noru, which made landfall on Sunday and is now headed for Vietnam. The typhoon, known locally as Typhoon Carding, intensified rapidly from Saturday to Sunday, arriving as a super typhoon at its peak of around 160 miles per hour. Typhoon gathered power incredibly quickly, going from the equivalent of a Category 1 hurricane to Category 5 in just 6 hours. That's because of the heat in the oceans. The oceans are carrying a lot of heat. This is what is supercharging these typhoons. The stronger the wind speed of a typhoon or hurricane, the more powerful it is, blah, blah, blah. Blasted the main island of Luzon on Sunday before weakening Monday to Category 2 equivalent typhoon, according to the U.S. Joint Typhoon Warning Center. The storm is picking up strength again, however, as it approaches Vietnam. There's a lot of heat. There's a lot of heat in the system now. Because it's called global warming, not climate change. Extreme temperatures around the world, from sauna to oven. Yesterday, the Saudi port of Jeddah had afternoon temperatures around 35 C, with dew points reaching 26 C. Wow. Very humid and muggy conditions today, thanks to winds from inland. The temperature shot to 45 C with a dew point of minus 6 C, like a hairdryer. Yikes. That's quite warm. And also high temperatures continuing in Australia. It is spring. Remember the spring in the northern hemisphere? There were a bunch of heat waves, right? Remember all during the spring of northern hemisphere. Oh, geez, we're having a heat wave. It's March, it's April, it's May. Well, they're having that in Australia. 42.6 degrees in Curtin, Oz, Australia. This is only the 24th day of spring, and many places hit 40 C plus. How long before vast areas of Australia become uninhabitable at the peak of the summer months? Odds the heat records will be broken this year, 2 to 5. All right. Ian is headed into the Gulf and picking up speed. This GFS model is showing Hurricane Ian sitting off the west coast of Florida for days, Wednesday through Friday a.m. So this is coming soon to a theater near you. More on Hurricane Ian. Ian looking not very nice. Hurricane Ian now officially a hurricane. Undergoing rapid intensification. Well, where we heard that, we just heard that like 2 minutes ago. 30 miles per hour in just a 12-hour period. For context, 35 miles per hour in 24 hours is needed for RI classification, rapid intensification. This is nearly double that rate. Gulf side of Florida in for a bumpy ride. Storm surge potential massive. Large areas of Gulf Coast are literally at or just above sea level. The duration of the hurricane Ian spends in the Gulf will increase the level of storm surge with the potential to devastate these low-lying areas. You can board up your shop, but you can't board up the sea. All right. This is from Dr. Samantha Montano. I'm absolutely begging everyone to be paying attention to Ian's storm surge rain threat instead of obsessing over category number. We'll read a little bit of this, probably not too much. Scale we use to measure hurricanes like Michael does not adequately communicate risk to the public, so why are we still using it? Yeah, it seems like the storms have really become much stronger and potentially deadly in the last few years. We know the way we categorize hurricanes has largely remained the same since the 1970s. The problem with the scale, the Saffir-Simpson scale, tells experts only what to expect in terms of wind speeds, whereas hurricanes are multi-hazard phenomena. High winds can be deadly and costly, and we absolutely want people in harm's way to be aware and take appropriate action to protect themselves. However, other hazards like storm surge and rainfall are equally, if not more important, to communicate and understand. Currently, our hurricane scale doesn't account for either. So is that something? I mean, several people have suggested in the last few years that we need a new way to categorize, because there's going to be storms that are going to go past 5 real soon. All right. And in more heat waves. Never ending. I wonder what's happening. Today is another hot day in Kazakhstan. 35 plus C at 45 north of latitude, and in Siberia again 30 above 30 C at Polyana and Slavgorod in the Altai Republic at 52 north. But these are not the last 30 Cs in Russia. Next week, another harsh heat wave will push the temperatures up to 30 to 35 C in the Caucasus. Again, this is outside the normal range. This is not, the climate is always changing. This is not typical, can you go back in the historical record and find times when it's been this hot before? Sure. But this is something that is, again, if you are paying attention, is happening kind of all the time now. So to try and say, oh, this always happens, is disingenuous, because you're actually not giving people context. I haven't heard a lot of the denier crowd actually talking about climate change lately. Not too much. Probably for fear of stepping in it. More heat waves in China. And certainly nobody wants to talk to me. It's autumn in China. An amazing heat wave is about to sweep across China. At present, the temperature is predicted to reach 37 to 40 C, which is unprecedented super heat wave in October history. China's highest October record was 39 C, just set last year, and 2022 may challenge the first 40 C in October. Well, if you break records every single year in a row, that is not the climate always changing, is it? That's a trend line, a clear trend line. Oh, every year it's getting a little hotter. Every year it's getting a little hotter. It keeps on getting hotter every single year. I wonder what's going on. Could it be Dr. Evil? Could it be Dr. Evil in his island lair of doom? Not saying that there aren't Dr. Evils out there. I'm not saying that. There are people out there that are intent on doing other people harm for profit, for fun and for profit. Mostly for profit. But that's not new news, is it? Not at all. I'm wondering if I sit in a particular way. I don't know, the light. I'm trying to get the light to pick up a little more. There we go. Let's see. From Professor Elliot Jacobson, your moment of doom for September 25th. That's yesterday. This is basically talking about termites and methane. Termites in a region with temperatures of 30 C will eat wood 7 times faster than in a place with temperatures of 20 C. And they are the number 2 source of non-anthropogenic methane. Did you know that? Did you know? Yeah, the bugs get busy when it gets hotter. When it gets warmer, the bugs get real busy and they start wreaking havoc. The bugs that are left, right? Not the good bugs, the bad bugs. All right. We're going to move on to some other news. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on YouTube. Probably not. Well, I'm going to stay on long enough.
Unknown caller.
Can you not? All right. Let's stay on long enough to say this. Well, COVID, Canada lifts all COVID border requirements for travelers and suspends mask mandates for planes and trains. All I'm going to say is all over the world, countries all over the world are rolling back their COVID policies. And I would like to know if YouTube is going to stop with the algorithms, the censorship algorithms around COVID. Could you please stop doing that? Since, countries of the world and pretty much everybody else and Joe Biden said, it's over. Can we roll those back now? Just asking a question. All right, now I'm going to jump off of YouTube because I'm going to talk a little more about it, and I don't really want to be hit by anything. YouTubers, I'll see you all tomorrow, or you can watch the rest of the show on Rockfin. Until next time, peace.